everyone, I am Mandy-Lynn Donovan, and you guessed it, I'm the host of Port City Personalities here in St. Awesome. I am really excited about today's episode, and I think that you're going to be a little bit excited too. I'm going to be joined with Shanda Weir and Scott Gogan, who's going to be talking about one of our very favorite events in St. John. This is the 5th time it's happening now. You guessed it, Christmas with the Cops. We're going to be talking about ticket sales. We're going to be talking about what's in store this year and a little bit about how Christmas with the Cops evolved. After that, we're going to be talking with East Coast Lifestyle creator and founder, Alex Mclean. Alex is going to be talking to us about what he's been up to, how things have been going these past 9 years. We're going to rewind and talking about the very beginnings of East Coast Lifestyle and what you can see in store and what's coming up in terms of, you guessed it, a store in here in St. Awesome. Let's get started. I am so happy to have both of your beautiful faces here. Thanks so much for making a minute for us.
Hi.
Hello.
I love the glasses.
Thank you so much. I love the faces. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Yeah.
Mandy, you look wonderful.
Thank you. I showered for you, given the circumstance today.
I could tell.
So let's just rewind for a minute before we get started. Shanda and Scott.
Yes.
We've met many years ago, I think 5 or 6 years ago now, and we've gone through COVID right now. We'll talk a little bit about COVID and what folks are doing, but things are opening back up now. We're starting to see the normal / the new normal. And I'm just trying to remember. I think the last time I saw you, Scott, was I was running on a beach in mesh, and I think that was the last time. And then
Yes.
and you spotted me in the crowd, like, where's Waldo?
Well, right. You were surrounded by men in your mesh.
Yeah, the usual.
Yeah, just another day, right?
I'd like to hear this story, guys.
Oh, yeah, it was quite interesting. Yeah, surrounded by men and New River Beach.
Perfect. And
Nice.
Shanda, when's the last time we saw each other? It's been like way too long. I know that we were doing a lot of events and stuff together where we were at.
Yeah.
We broke into the previous mayor's office together, doing Operation Red Nose, that you've been all around doing it. When's the last time we saw each other even?
Maybe I
Face
was
to
throwing
face.
the handcuffs on you?
Hey, you play one bad song on local radio and that's what happens.
Right?
I know. You guys don't want to hear the oldies, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
So I want to say thanks again for everything that you guys do. You both know I'm huge fans of your guys', not just in the work that you do every day for our community, not in just the overall people that you are, but about specifically, I want to talk about Christmas with the Cops. Let's go to the very beginning of where the idea birthed from. Let's talk about the bathtub.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, no. We can go as far back as you need.
Oh, all right. So Christmas with the Cops the name came to me when I was in the bathtub. I was thinking about, I have about the same amount of time as Shanda has on, and, I had a lot of different experiences in Christmas, and I just thought, you know what, I'm up there, and I probably won't have too many more Christmases, that I have to work, just based on seniority and stuff. And I thought it was humorous, Christmas with the Cops. I'm a little bit of a funny guy, or at least I think I'm funny, and my mom. And so that just the idea came to me. And I had been involved. I had police officers come and find me when I was young, and I joined the volunteer force when I was 18. So I've always been around the police officers and music, and it was just something that I knew, right? This is what I did. And so when that title came to me, recently, for years, Shanda would go and collect money for the Empty Stocking Fund. And I don't know if you know, Shanda can be quite, what's a nice word? Just,
Persuasive.
Persuasive. And I like that. Like she'd come, I know it's payday because I get paid today too. And I know that you can give me up stocking fund today. I'm like, oh, how do you know? Right. So it was just Shanda's, hospitality. And just that spirit. It was just like, you know what? Here's something that maybe she can help with, to celebrate that spirit, but just sort of incorporate the music side. Right. And, there was always people at work that were singing and humming and typing a report and just sort of, ooh, I didn't know that about you. And so that story, it just came from Shanda's, generosity and raising money for charity. And just, I'm the type of person that if I don't have a project or a new idea, then I get a little wonky. So I always like to have something on the go. So we didn't know, I pitched it to Shanda. Shanda loved it. But it was a new idea. It really hadn't been done before. And we weren't sure whether the public would enjoy that or not. So it was sort of like, well, we'll try. So fish, right? So yeah, it started there. And then the first one almost sold out. We were just a couple hundred seats shy of selling out. And we pushed and pushed and pushed. People like you, we just did whatever we could. But then the shows just kind of got, well, we have this talent, we can do a little bit more. And the shows got bigger and the support got bigger. And then the more money we raised. And then it got a little scary for a bit because people are like, you're part of my Christmas. I'm like, oh no. So, but it took off in a delightful way, not complaining at all. But it was like, when we first came, we didn't know if anybody would go to where we were, a couple of years ago before COVID. It's a huge difference. So it's exciting. But that's basically how it started, and it just kind of grew.
Shanda, thank you. Shanda, do you want to touch on that?
No, basically, like Scott had said, I like to bother people for money, and Scott's musically brilliant. So together, it was a perfect match. And like he had said, Mandy, and you've kind of been with us up from the beginning, we didn't know if people would think it's like a karaoke show. Great effort, guys.
Right.
But with Scott, because I'm not musically inclined, because Scott said I'm not. What he does,
she's not.
No.
Nice person,
so he takes a person like Mandy. If you have a musical talent, he'll listen to how you sing and he'll select a perfect song for you. So you and others that can kind of vouch for it. The reason that the quality is so high is because Scott won't tolerate anything but the best. So people, when they left the first year, they're going, this is amazing. Like, we've been compared to New York shows, and like the quality was so amazing. And then the atmosphere of the Imperial, holy moly, as you know, it grew. It's like we had to add 2 shows. People are calling us for tickets. People were standing out in the line, Mandy, the last time we did it, out in front of the Imperial, like we're the Beatles, for God's sakes, right? It was amazing.
Yeah, it's just way bigger than we ever thought. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just really, it's mind blowing. Actually, it really is.
Yeah, you had an idea, and then it just grew this quick. So I want to talk about what the cause is now for folks that, if they're under a rock or didn't hear of it, but I know everyone in St. John loves, enjoys, and can't wait for it and to go get their tickets. But talk about what the causes are. What have you done with the money each year? What causes, and then we'll do a follow-up with why is this important and how do you select the cause?
Oh, very good question.
Oh yeah,
did you write that down? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, you make a good lawyer. Okay, so originally the first year that we did this, because it was inspired by Shanda's work with the Empty Stocking Fund, we sat down and said, okay, we'd like to continue that. And so the first year we split the funds. We went half to Romero House and half to the Empty Stocking Fund. And so then we said, okay, we've looked after that charity. And then we didn't really know, charities, there's a lot of great charities out there. And that's why we have changed things. We're in the middle of trying to pick our charity. We're getting together this week and actually sitting down and going to go forward. But so basically, we wanted to give, and I still believe this is our plan or whatever, but give the charities that are in dire need, that they're no secret corporate sponsors or somebody that's always going to back them out, somebody that really contribute to the community and really needs the money. And that was always sort of the goal is to try to pick somebody. And that's difficult because there are so many. So then what do you do there? Well, then you stick with what you know, right? And so the second year, we had a member of the police force that actually found me. It was a drummer in country blues band. He passed away at Bobby's Hospice, and I had some family members in Bobby's Hospice. I honestly didn't know what they did, and not a lot of people know until you actually experience that.
Right.
So yeah, we sat down and we said, well, this place is in need of a little help. And so we gave the money to Bobby's Hospice the next year. Well, at this point, the show had escalated to a point where they wanted 2 shows. Well, 2 shows is great, but it also doubles the funds.
Yeah.
So it's great. So, as the show grew and we got, incorporated more talent within the community, the fund grew. And so now we're dealing with even more money. And so the 3rd year was we gave the money to the oncology department. I'm a cancer survivor. There's a lot of it touches everyone. I personally wouldn't be here without their work. Right. And it was just a little payback. And the cancer one was easy because everybody had, been touched by it in some way or another. Right.
Yeah.
And then so we, at that point, the shows were 2 in a row and we were making $45,000 to give the charity. So we gave $45,000 to oncology. And then the last year, the SPCA was really hurting. With the police work, there's all sorts of things. The SPCA, it's not just the dogs off the leash or that type of thing, right? They're sheltering abused animals. They're protecting animals from potential abuse. There's all sorts of things that they do, and their heart and soul's in it. And we just felt that the last year that they'd be worthy of that money. Yeah. So that's where the money has gone. So I don't know the exact total. I believe it's about $124,000 since the show started that we've just given to a local charity. So COVID happened, I was dealing with some personal things, people work, people are retiring, and we decided, okay, maybe this is time to take a little break. And then recently the world's just sort of coming around again. And I know my own, you talk to people, it's such a positive thing. And we've been lacking positivity, I guess, the last little bit. Shanda was always like, hey, you thinking about doing a show? I'm like, go away, Shanda, stay away. But, it just seemed like the timing was right for at least one more. There's some members that are involved this year. This will be their last year. Some members are retired. So we don't, it's supposed to be Christmas with the cops, but we're running out of cops right now.
I'll sing.
No, I'll pay.
I'm joining you, Shanda. Both of us together.
Well, poor Shanda. There was one year we were trying to increase our choir number, and Shanda, she volunteered.
No, I didn't. You said everybody can sing.
Scott. She was voluntold.
Well, she said everybody can sing, Shanda. It's the choir. Just go sing. And I was like, okay.
So I got a couple of messages that night saying that there was an awkward. I don't want to embarrass her on television, but there was.
I don't get embarrassed.
Yeah, there was just an unusual frequency or noise that was going around during that particular choir session that wasn't there prior to Shanda's arrival. Put 2 to 2 together there. So, anyways, I had to Simon Cowell her. Politely fire.
He fired me, Mandy.
From volunteering.
Yeah.
He was like, Shanda, you're so smart at so many other things. And I was like, you're firing me from the choir, dude.
Yeah.
That one feeling I had left.
Yeah. She's not bitter at all about it.
You won't be able to you won't be able to sing again. Just like when I was little, I remember I was like drawing a picture and I drew the hands like so wrong. And then for the rest of my life, because I never addressed that fear, I'll never draw a hand without it being like, psst.
Yeah. Well, they're a lot of work. I used to draw. There's a lot of work. That's why I like cartoon characters and bubble gloves. It's not. They're
just so much easier. So for folks that are listening, let's talk a little bit about who is Shanda and who is Scott. Shanda, let's start with you. Who are you? How long have you been with the police force? What is your role and why do you do what you do?
Well, I'm Shanda. I've been a police officer for 22 years. It's been a long time. I've had the luxury to be in a lot of different units. And currently, as you can see in my regular attire, I'm a member of the major crime unit now. So basically what happens is if there's something substantial going on in the city of St. John, we'll kind of take that file over. Actually, Scott used to be part of this unit and subsequently he went back to patrol, which is kind of our bread and butter, right? Our heart and soul of the In regards to me, I'm married to another police officer. He's wonderful.
He's cute, too.
He's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've met him,
Yeah.
Andy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? He's actually a member with the forensics. So if people know it more as CSI. And I have a little guy named Jackson. He's 9 years old and he's wonderful.
Handsome. He's a handsome dude. 9
you.
already. Oh my God.
9. And I guess, Mandy, when you speak about why I like to harass people for money for charities,
Yes.
when we grew up, we didn't have much. And I actually recall being the receiver of charities. So now that we're fortunate in our lives and, I have a house, a roof over my head and food in my tummy, a wonderful family and friends, and a great, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't I? Right? Why wouldn't I want to help? So that's kind of why I think I've always done it, because I've been down that road. I know what it's like. And, that's kind of why it's passionate for me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Scott?
Well, why do I have to follow that? I mean,
Good luck trying. Good luck trying.
Wow. Okay, hold on. I got to make something up here. No, the same thing. We've all had help along the way to get where we are. Whether and for me, especially the police officer, we've always done charity, right? And it's just, if I can help doing something that I love, and this is work, but it's work that I love. Right.
Yeah. And
so at the end of the day, I get to hang out with cool people, have the experience of a lifetime. People enjoy it, and the outcome is this cash for somebody that needs it. So why not, right? And I believe in karma. I believe do good things to others. Contrary to what some people think, police officers generally are caring people and wanting to do the right thing and wanting to help them, right? And you know what? We have some members that are good at the TAC team. We have some members that are good at forensic. This is, I just grew up around music, got hired a lot for, musical productions and stuff. I've worked with a lot of people. I've borrowed a lot of ideas from people. And it's just unique, right? So I love helping. I love seeing the charities. At the end, when they receive the money, it's a selfish thing almost. It's so much fun to do, to get to that point that it's like, I can't believe this is happening, right? So yeah, it's just, I've always been somebody that believes in charity. And again, it's just something fun for us to do, and it makes people happy, right?
And Scott, you made a really good point, Scott. And Mandy, like, you've got to know us on a personal level, but some people just see us as an officer, and they have an opinion of officers in general. And this is a really awesome way to show them that not only do we have different talents, but we have these personalities and we have these hearts. And like Scott said, majority of us, we want to help, and we will bend over backwards to help anyone in our community, right? So I really love that it gives us a more personal appeal to people.
And professionally, like Shannon just said, like when I was found at 18, I had a bunch of police officers say, we want to go into the school system and show these little kids that shake when we walk by that we're just like their mom and dad, right? We maybe some of us play sports, maybe some of us do that, but just try to break down that barrier. And music is a great thing to break down barriers, because wherever you come from, music always connects people.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just, you can be from two different worlds, but music always brings people together. So this is just kind of a neat thing to break down those barriers. And it doesn't just pertain to police officers as well. I mean, you have Crown prosecutors out there just kicking it, right? And you're like, oh, I thought that guy was stuffy, right? And look what they can do. And we shouldn't be defined by our career, right? Career choices. So, and it's just neat to be able to show some of that off, right? And it just we've always tried to be professional, but there's to rehumanize, is that it?
Yeah, I think
professional, so. the sort of legal professional, like just to show that we're just like everybody else too, right? And just sharing the love of music and give the cash to the people that need it. because the joy for us is just being able to do this, right?
But it's so much more than that. So being there, witnessing that with you guys, I think that a couple of my favorite moments is so look, you guys are doing so much great stuff already out in the community. Then you're finding a way to bridge the community by creating these shows each year. So you're saying you're selfishly doing it to be able to do something that you love, but it's so great because bringing everybody together, wherever you're at, whatever your job is, whatever your career is, whatever your skill is, anything in life. But my favorite is watching you guys all before everyone all around and stuff like that. Shanda is, I'd love to have a Fitbit on her that day because
I know, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but my favorite is both of you guys at the end of the show where you guys are backstage, even like sometimes when the folks are performing, they're like your babies out there. Like I watch Scott out there like a protective father, and then I watch like Shanda's like fixing people while they're going out, being like the doting mom on it. But for me, I think my favorite part of it is seeing your guys's faces when folks are going out there. Like, did we just? Oh,
it's immense pride to go and you know, Shanda and I always said, like, nobody goes out there to fail. We don't want anybody to look bad or sound bad, and it's a treat and it's a privilege to be on that stage. And we want people to go and just have the experience of a lifetime, right? Because some, you know, I'll say it like this, you know, some of the people wouldn't be on the stage had it not been for their profession, right?
Yeah.
You know, some of them never sang on a stage before. So they just, to go from somebody that's never sang on a stage to working with them and getting help, you know, if somebody's struggling vocally, we'll get help from the community. Like we want everybody to do their best just because they're giving so much, right? Yeah. And that's a reward for us. We're proud mama bears, right? Because you're so happy for this person killing it. And the audience loves them, and they just walk over, you know, and they might never sing again, but you just want them to be at their best, you know.
It's just so good at that. I know it's the whole moment because I know there's so much training, and you guys are both so humble because there's so much training. There's months and months of training that's going into this because you guys are thinking, okay, we're putting on a show. We need to make sure it's perfect for everybody that's coming out to make it worth their time. But I want to know. Shanda, what's your favorite moment after you do a show? So for me, I know like in entertainment, it's kind of the same thing. And we actually had Angela on. Angela will be coming on in a few shows from Imperial Theater. And that's kind of what she talked about when you have all the hustle of all the shows that are coming in, the sound, the production, the quality, all the blah blahs. But then the best moment, like she's the same, where she's like standing there like, holy crap, this is happening. This is happening. Incredible. This is alive now. This is a thing.
Yeah. No, we, like Scott had said, we are so proud, and you don't want anyone to fail. You're boosting them up. You're letting them know they're a rock star that night. And I guess one of my favorite things is, so we have two shows, as you know, a Friday evening and a Saturday evening. So Friday evening, after the show is done, everyone goes home because it's been a huge day that day. We're there from morning till night. And Saturday, after the curtain closes, Mandy, it's so nice because we all just do this huge hug. Everyone's emotional because it's over. And, you know, all the time that they've spent with Scott, you know, rehearsing, and it's over. People are just feeling all these emotions. And I think it's lovely. Everybody hugs, and usually we'll try to get together afterwards just to, you know, because it's just like this exciting endeavor and everyone wants to talk about it. And I think it's lovely. And another memory is when you jumped in the back of the truck, Mandy.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I agree with Shanda. I have, well, not memories, but my favorite moment is when we shock people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When we've got to the point we practice it, it's second nature now, so you can just relax and just focus on playing the music, and just seeing, you know, one of your coworkers just out there just melting faces per se, right? Just like you weren't expecting that, were you? Or when the acapella like all of a sudden sounds like pentatonic, and you're like, how is that even possible? That's like the like I knew they had that talent. That's fun for me, and always that when the Saturday night when the curtain closes. Because it is, we're bringing all these agencies together, but we're also not only we're establishing friendships, right? And
Yeah.
making memories together. So when that curtain closes, we're all high-fiving and hugging. Some people are crying. And most of that's Mandy-Lynn, but it's just that's why we do it, right? Just for that moment, right? That makes it all. And then to have this here, we don't need this. We have fun things. Let us entertain you, right?
Yeah.
It's just, and we have about 4 minutes left, but I want to talk about tickets. So when are tickets coming available? And could we get a couple teasers of what we might expect to see this year?
No.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
I plead the
Scott.
fifth. Yes.
Shanda's debuting. No. Okay.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Yeah.
You tell them.
No.
I'll give a little tidbit about performance-wise, but I'll let Shanda talk about the ticket sales.
So Mandy, tickets are going on sale on June 1st on the beautiful Imperial website. And like Scott had said, we're having a meeting on Wednesday. We had put it out to the media to ask for a charity because this year, we have done a lot of charities, and this year we just wanted to be a local charity in genuine need. So we have all our charity applications. We're going to review them, and hopefully, we'll pick the right person. I'm sure we will, because everyone's in need. And regardless of whatever charity we pick, Mandy, as you know, we always have Romero House on site with their van, and we encourage everyone to bring a food donation. And I guess the only other difference of our tickets is with life that we're living, a little bit of inflation. Our tickets are $40. They've gone up about $2 or $3.
What a great price. What a great price for a night of fun. And do we have the dates of when this is happening this year?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Friday, December the 16th and Saturday, December the 17th of this year.
That's amazing. And a secret of what we're going to see?
Wow.
You wanna...
Currently, we're sort of auditioning new coppers, new members.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon and I are working to bring over a paramedic from PEI who's actually quite popular. Him and his family just got off Family Feud. He's been on that show. He's on the main stage at Cavendish all the time. Great voice, great family, and we're working on having this medic come over, who's also a professional musician, and come and join our show this year. Just the spirit of bringing people together in other provinces and stuff. So that's something that we're working on. We're still striving for the same quality. Buddy the Elf might show up again. We're not sure. Kenny and Dolly are going to be there for sure. I don't care what happens. We're always going to have our Kenny and Dolly. But yeah, the same, I guess quality is going to be the same sparkle. Maybe some new faces this year, but yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you so much, Shanda and Scott, for joining us today. Can't wait till the show. Tickets are available, Imperial Theater, June the 1st. Make sure you get your tickets quick. They will sell out. Both shows, they always do. Thank you for everything that you do for our community.
Thank you for
having us. Thank you for everything that you do. Everything you do.
High five, Shan.
Thank you so much, Alex, for making a minute and joining me today. It's been way too long.
Yeah, it's been a while. Thanks for having me on today, Mandy.
Thank you. I'm trying to remember the last time we saw each other. So I know that it was back in the campus days when I was doing the UNB campus radio. And I know that you're a huge fan of UNB and campus and have done a lot of work with that. And I think I had the opportunity to spend the day with you and your girlfriend, now wife, and we'll talk about that in a minute, down at your flagship stores, and basically a day in the life of Alex and what you do and all that kind of stuff. And then we put it, and then you put a giant sticker on my bright pink little card too. That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I remember that for sure. Yeah, it was a while ago, and yeah, not much has changed. We're still making t-shirts and hoodies. We've just added a lot of new products, and just like you mentioned, I got married recently, and we got a new dog. So a couple personal life changes and a couple business life changes.
That's fantastic. So for anybody that's watching right now, let's get started with, who is Alex Mclean and what do you do? Let's start with that.
Sounds good. So I'm a 30-year-old entrepreneur at this point. I just turned 30 and started the business of East Coast Lifestyle when I was 21. So for 9 years, I've been working really hard growing East Coast Lifestyle out of Halifax, Nova Scotia. It started up at Acadia University with a goal to sell 30 hoodies and get a good grade in an entrepreneurship course. And it became my full-time career right out of school. I was able to balance school with the business. So doing school at night, actually online, and working the business in the day, allowed me to finish the degree and get through Acadia and start a business and have the business degree that allowed me to kind of grow the business out of school. Had a lot of thoughts about kind of not finishing school, but really wanted to finish it and grow the skills and learn more about business and get that under the belt. And then as soon as I finished school, I just kind of went all in on this business. And we've been growing it at Halifax. We have 30 staff today. But yeah, it's the main thing that I do on a day-to-day life. My day-to-day life is East Coast lifestyle. And outside of that, live a very active lifestyle, play a lot of golf, a lot of hockey, a lot of snowboarding in the winter. But yeah, it's just been a really fun ride. And yeah, I'm a Halifax local, proud Nova Scotian, and the founder of East Coast Lifestyle.
Thank you so much for that, Alex. And let's talk about how East Coast Lifestyle started. Let's go back to the airplane when you're drawing the logo. Talk about that to folks, because I know that funny enough, a lot of folks have had that question. How did he come up with the logo? Talk about that first.
Yeah, sure thing. So many people don't know, before that logo was drawn, I sold probably 200 hoodies that just had East Coast Lifestyle written across the hoodie. And then I went on this family trip to visit my grandparents down in Florida. And that's where I drew this logo on the plane ride home, actually. So I was down there and I was thinking about how every brand has their logo, the Nike check, the Adidas 3 stripes, all these different logos, how we the brain registers them without having to see the text. And I really wanted to create a logo for East Coast Lifestyle that was kind of embodying the brand. And I thought that the circle anchor logo was pretty much a good logo to start with. I put East Coast up top, lifestyle below, the anchor in the middle. I really felt like the anchor symbolized the pride and the strength of the East Coast. And, we're true to the ocean. We're always around the ocean. I felt like there was no other better object than the anchor. So I drew that logo and came home, and I got someone to help me put it on digital with a vector file, because I didn't have those skills. I just drew it with pencil and paper. And then it's funny, now that logo's in a museum. Funny enough, it was taken.
It's not at your office anymore? It's not at your office anymore?
It's in the Nova Scotia Museum, which is pretty cool to see that there. It's like a kind of an artifact per se, and they inducted it into the museum, and it's really cool to see it there today under the glass. And yeah, I never would have thought that a little pencil and paper sketch would get to the museum. And it's in a really cool whole collection with a lot of other Nova Scotia artifacts, and definitely a huge honor to be in that museum. But you never know where a pencil and paper could end up.
Absolutely. That's incredible. That is so incredible. Yeah. So Alex, look, you're really passionate about what you do. You're a hustler. We know this right from the very beginning. This started from, was it a project at school? And then it grew. And then can you talk a little bit about that, and a little bit about meeting Obama, was it that you told me about?
Yep. Yeah. So when I was in class, we were tasked to start an invention and a business plan. So we weren't actually supposed to create products or, fund anything and have any real products come out of the business plan. It was more so about a paper and pen idea. And I really just kind of got passionate about it from the very beginning and started to sell these hoodies to different friends and classmates and people around the school. And then I really saw the demand for it. And a couple of people were like, "You're crazy. Like, you shouldn't be investing 200 hoodies, 300 hoodies. Like, you don't know if this is going to just sit around and you'll never be able to sell them again," or no one really could see the vision for it. And I kind of was seeing the bigger picture of, I think people are very proud of where they're from. And I think that this is very early days. And once we build up the brand and give a quality product to people that are proud of where they're from, then it could grow very fast. And so I really just went all in on it. And I got an A in that course. It was one of my only A's in school. But once that class was over, I went full out with it. So I was putting boxes of hoodies in my parents' basement. I was driving around with my parents' car, just dropping off 1, 2 hoodies, 3 hoodies here, 4 hoodies here. I was selling them on my parents' front lawn as a pop-up shop. And I was really just trying to put all the money back into the business, keep growing and buying more inventory. Bought a trademark for East Coast Lifestyle. And once the brand was protected and, legitimate, then I was able to scale it and online advertise and really try to grow it and create an online website and start selling on Shopify online. And then I didn't have to actually drive one hoodie around everywhere. I was able to go online and say, if you want to buy a hoodie in Alberta or BC or in Maine or Florida, you can go right on our website and buy it and have it shipped out to you anywhere in the world. And that took it up a notch, and that really allowed us to scale and grow. And then Taylor was my first hire, who's my wife today, and she was able to build us our website and help me with hiring and firing and all the hard parts of a business, even accounting and bookkeeping. So together we kind of worked from the very beginning days, and we hired more people to help us scale it. And then that got me to an entrepreneurship competition called Enactus. And so that one was a Canadian entrepreneurship competition for all student businesses, all students. And I was able to win the national award there. And that got me to Washington to the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards, which was 2,500 entrepreneurs from around the whole world. They were flown into Washington, D.C. by an entrepreneurship organization. And we all competed in front of about 200 judges in Washington. And I was 21. So I was under a lot of stress and pressure, and was kind of like, I've never experienced anything like this. I didn't like to public speak or talk in front of a room full of 200 judges. It was a lot of nerves, and I was able to come second in that one in Washington. So during that presentation, after I got off the stage, someone came up to me and slid me a note. I can send you a picture of it. And they said, "Let's talk." And it was from the White House. And so someone from Obama's team, his right-hand man that does his meetings and his agenda, wanted me to come to their event at the White House, where Obama was going to speak to 30 entrepreneurs from across the world from this competition. And I was the only Canadian to get to go, which was really a huge honor, and got to meet a lot of cool people, including the Shark Tank staff. They were all there. So Mark Cuban, Damon John, Barbara Cochran, Lori Grenier, they were all there, and we were able to connect with them. And I locked in a meeting with Damon John there. So I got to go down to New York and meet him, and Gary Vaynerchuk pretty much a month after that. So a lot of big US connections came from that. And I never would have thought that it would ever could have, happened, but it all kind of started at a local entrepreneurship competition to then the States and then the White House. So you truly never know what's going to happen or who's in the room when you present, and really thankful that everything went how it did and I was able to get that opportunity.
And when did you know that this was going to be a business? Or did you know when you were on your parents' lawn, or when you were driving them 1-2 hoodies all across Halifax? When did you know this is going to be my full-time baby?
I would say the big moment was when Sidney Crosby's people reached out to us and they said, Sid is very proud of where he's from, and he wants some of this East Coast lifestyle gear that he's seen on Facebook. And so I dropped a box of stuff off to him at the rink, and he started wearing it and traveling the world with it, playing hockey with it. And then when I got his kind of approval of the brand, that's when everything really changed a lot. So huge thank you to Sidney Crosby. He supported us in the first months of the brand. And after Sid wore it, the whole Mooseheads were placing orders. There was other Q teams placing orders. He's the cool guy. So huge thank you to Sid. And by giving us his support, it really opened the floodgates to a lot of the hockey world and a lot of other young people that wanted to wear what Sidney Crosby wears. So that was when I truly knew that it was a real business. Probably was when Sid placed an order for clothing, and then his mom reached out for baby onesies, and we gave them baby onesies for his family members. So those kind of early day moments I'll never forget, and that was a game changer for us.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And has there ever been a time that you've been starstruck, other than Sydney, of course, but has there been a time where you're like, oh my gosh, and then for a minute you're like, I got to be calm, cool, collective?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've met a lot of cool people on the ride, and a lot of them have given me the starstruck feeling. And a couple of those people were Damon John, Mark Cuban, Gary Vee, even meeting Alicia Cuthbert, who's a friend of ours now. That was a starstruck moment because I've seen her in so many movies and TV shows. But yeah, it's been really cool and get to meet a lot of cool people, and really thankful to be where we are today and get to meet all the cool people on the ride.
Thank you so much. And talk a little bit about the designing now. So I know that it's very important. You and I talked about this before. Walk me through your design process, because I know that quality is super important to you. What does that look like from scale? Do you get an idea now or on a color? Talk me through that.
Yeah, so our number one selling hoodie is still the OG classic logo is what we call it. So every year we're working on changing up colors, making it Nova Scotia, trying to do different stuff, put different patterns behind it, different quality, different blends. And then we have a bunch of stuff that we make. So different nautical objects. So whether it's anchor, whether it has like custom interior patterns on the inside, we're always really trying to create cool stuff and make it unique and fresh. And so every season we drop different collections. So we have our summer collection coming out right now. It'll have golf. It'll have shorts, sweatpants, t-shirt, tank tops, new shirts, new hoodies, all new, fresh stuff. We just finished up our Bauer hockey collaboration. So that was very hockey targeted, combining the Bauer hockey brand with East Coast lifestyle. Many people don't know that hockey started in Windsor, Nova Scotia. And so we paid homage to that with a t-shirt, and we did a whole bunch of other collaborative logos. But essentially everything changes every year. We're very fresh and like to change it up so that when people see the brand, it's not always the same. We just kind of added in the maple leaf to the classic logo for our Made in Nova Scotia gear, just to give it a little extra, detail. And yeah, we just try to keep it fresh. But the design process comes from our team now. Like, we have a great team of people that do a lot of different designs. And it's not all about this logo, but that is the one that people want to rep the most. Is it's different variations of the classic logo. Our customer is very big logo face. They don't like a lot of smaller hits. They want to rep the brand and be proud of where they're from and show that.
Absolutely. And so with your creative team now, from beginning to ending, when they come up with an idea, is it still like such an arduous process? Or talk me through that, because I know that even, and this is kind of a little bit off topic from the question, but even the stores, your stores that you have, they're not just a store when you go in them. There's such a vibe. I have to say, Alex, there's such a vibe when you go into the stores that you have, the energy from the folks that are working there, the love. So talk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we really care a lot about, people that are proud of where they're from, obviously. And when they come to our stores, we want them to have an amazing experience. So each of our stores, we always have lots of staff working, lots of stock, and they're always, very, very happy to be there in terms of the staff. So when people come in, there's hundreds of different products, everything from a baby onesie to backpacks to hoodies to jogger pants, t-shirts, tank tops. We're making candles right now that are handmade in Halifax, potato chips with covered bridge in New Brunswick. They're all sold in the store. So yeah, we're really trying to make it exciting for people when they come to the store, and make it a place that they want to visit and bring their friends to it. Right now, the cruise ships just came back to Nova Scotia and to all of Atlantic Canada. I'm not sure about the West Coast, but it's huge for Atlantic Canada. And, when a cruise ship comes in, there's thousands of people that get off the boat and they want to either bring souvenirs home or they want to buy a piece of local from the city. So just, last 2 weeks, the cruise ships alone have like 5 to 10x our store revenues. And it's amazing to see the people are coming in from outside of, Canada, and they're buying and bringing stuff back overseas or all over the world. So yeah, our stores are, all about East Coast, and it's really cool to see not only locals loving the brand, but also people from abroad that are bringing it back with them.
Absolutely. And in respect to loving the brand and folks that are representing the brand, what is one of your favorite moments, I guess, that you saw somebody somewhere representing or having a piece of your clothing and you thought, this is awesome?
I'm going to change that to an answer that's really one that really struck me. And it was years ago, but a couple was walking in the West Edmonton Mall and they saw each other. They were both repping East Coast lifestyle, and they started a conversation basically off of that. They were both like, hey, where are you from? In Atlantic Canada, because they're in Alberta. So they're pretty far from the East Coast. And they ended up getting married actually a couple months after that. But their initial conversation started because of the brand, which is one of the stories that I love to talk about, because one of the coolest things I think East Coast lifestyle does is allow people to connect when they're abroad and when they're traveling, because it's a small brand and it's very niche. And we're true to Atlantic Canada in a sense where we're not carried in BC, we're not carried in Saskatchewan, we're not carried in Maine. We're very carried in Atlantic Canada with Studio, the 32 stores that they have. And then our online business is very Atlantic Canada focused. So one of the coolest stories would be those people meeting based off of what they were wearing, and it changed their life. They got married, and those are the stories we love to hear the most, is people that connect over, hoodies or t-shirts that if they had been wearing, Burton and Billabong, they probably never would have talked, and they could have just passed each other in the mall and never would have talked again. But because they were both wearing a smaller niche brand, they were able to connect. And those are the things we love to hear.
Thank you so much. So how many stores do you have right now? Do you have any new stores opening up close to Port City Personalities here in St. John, New Brunswick?
Yeah, I love that question. And honestly, we're about to open our next location right in the port city of St. John, New Brunswick. So it'll be on Long Wharf in the shipping container village. We've heard there's 54 total shipping containers that are being dropped in and completely built out, and they're almost done. We've heard end of May, start of June is the target opening time. We're coming down to do content. Can't wait to visit St. John. And yeah, it'll be a fully set up East Coast lifestyle store with all of our best selling items, our potato chips, the whole 9 yards. And we can't wait to get there.
Talk about the potato chips and the drinks. We're all dying to know.
Yeah. So they were both projects that we started during the pandemic. So we started with East Coast beverages. So for 7 years, we've been working with Alexander Keith's to create limited edition apparel that's put inside the boxes of beer. So if you bought a case of beer, you might have got an East Coast shirt or an East Coast hat or two different products over the years. And Labatt's kind of asked us in COVID, do you want to take this to the next level and create your own drink? And so we started out with our first drink, East Coast Pineapple Rum Soda, and then East Coast Lemon Hard Iced Tea. That was the next flavor. And we're releasing our third flavor next month, in 2 weeks from today, actually. So it's been a lot of fun creating the different drinks with them. They're carried in all the Atlantic Canada liquor stores, and they're all made in Rock Spirits, Newfoundland. So made local. People locally love it. We're getting a lot of requests for it in Alberta and Ontario from East Coasters and people that want to try it, but we're working hard trying to grow there. It's all about Atlantic Canada really for us. And for the chips, they're all made in Heartland, New Brunswick with Covered Bridge. So another COVID startup for us. We partnered with them. They do all the production and distribution, obviously, with Covered Bridge. Amazing people, amazing network of people that they have there across the whole country. And that got us into over 2,000 retail stores across Canada. So all the bulk barns, Sobeys, Foodland, Superstores, Fortinos in Ontario, just getting into Walmart and Costco, hopefully this year. So a lot of stores, and it allowed the clothing brand to actually grow quite a bit because of all the distribution network that Covered Bridge has. So 2 flavors so far, with 3 flavors actually with them so far. Thick cut sea salt Donair, which was seasonal, and it's coming back for this summer. It's a seasonal flavor. And then we have Backyard Barbecue, another all year flavor. So 3 so far.
That is fantastic. I cannot believe, I'm not surprised, but you've grown so much since we've chatted last. Lots of fantastic stuff is happening. So let me ask you this. You talked about Shark Tank and meeting the sharks, and what entrepreneurs have inspired you?
Great question. So I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. I find him very inspiring, just to see how he's grown his many different companies under the umbrella of VaynerMedia. He's a huge marketing company. My wife's also quite an entrepreneur. I definitely have a lot of respect for what she's able to accomplish. And then our operations manager, Lori McKenzie, who started Massage Addict. She's an awesome entrepreneur, and we just promoted her to COO with the company because she's been doing so well. But yeah, I have a lot of respect for both Taylor and Lori for what they've accomplished, and they're both doing a lot of the behind the scenes of the business. So those would be 3 entrepreneurs that I have a lot of respect for, and I'm thankful to have 2 of them on the team.
Thank you so much. And I've met some of your friends that you've grown up with, and it's fascinating to hear them talk about how important it is for you still take time to hear their thoughts, ideas, help them planning with things. You're so passionate about what other people are doing too. I feel like other entrepreneurs or helping other folks is also one of your callings. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. We really try to help a lot of people that ask us questions or they come to us with any business requests, where we're helping a lot of different people in the community, from startups to charities to organizations. We try to really make an impact, both nonprofit and, for profit, but we care a lot about the community, and I love to see all the entrepreneurial efforts that are coming out of Atlantic Canada. There's so many great businesses that are starting up and growing and scaling, going national. So yeah, I find that we're the underdogs of Canada out here on the East Coast, and we have to work together to help each other to grow and to build each other up. So definitely I'm trying to network and grow as much as possible in Atlantic Canada. And it's cool to, our latest partnership with Covered Bridge has been awesome to work with them and to build out we're in Nova Scotia, there in New Brunswick, but to build out a dual East Coast partnership with them. We've sold over 550,000 bags of chips in 2 years, with actually in just over 1.5 years with them. And we never would have thought we would, sell over 500,000 bags of chips in a pandemic. So it's been really cool to start new projects and work with local companies and do new cool stuff.
Thank you. And if there's any young business owners, entrepreneurs, or wantrepreneurs that are watching the show right now, hearing you, what advice would you like to give them? Because Alex, you're still a young guy. How old are you now?
I'm 30 now.
You're 30 years old.
Yeah. My advice would be to anyone that's in school or that has a job that they're kind of wishing they had another job: start your business in your spare time and work on what your passion is. Follow your passion in your spare time. So those Thursday nights when you're going to watch Netflix for a couple hours, try to work on your business and look and do some research, watch YouTube videos, learn from Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. But you constantly have to sponge and learn and soak up all the information and knowledge that you can from areas and from people and mentors and people that can help you along the way. And there's so many opportunities for businesses, especially in the East Coast. everyone's very supportive out here, way more than you'd get in New York or Toronto. People would walk by you on the streets, but in Atlantic Canada, they'll stop, they'll talk to you, they'll network, they'll ask you questions. And so you have to really try your best to get it done. And for me, it was the side hustle, East Coast lifestyle, that then I didn't have to get a summer job. I was able to sell hoodies and put all of my eggs into that basket of selling hoodies. And I canceled my other summer job. I was working for Atlantic Lottery, driving around promoting their stuff. And then I said, no, I'm able to sell enough hoodies now to quit my job and do this full time. So I always like to tell people, do it in your spare time until it makes more money than your full-time job, and then switch it over and go all in on yourself and learn and try to develop your skills and develop a team and work, but follow your passion.
Follow your passion. That's great words. Thank you so much, Alex. And what is something folks would be surprised to learn about you? How about in creativity, maybe?
Yeah. In terms of creativity, I have almost no Photoshop skills at all. People might think that I'm whipping up designs and stuff, but no, we leave that to the masters of design. I'm the marketing and entrepreneurial guy behind the scenes, but many people think that I do all the designs, and I work in the clothing store down at the Seaport Market, and they go in and they hope that I'm there, and I'm not there. So yeah, my job and duties, I guess, would be more of the entrepreneurship, the partnerships, the marketing, but I have almost no design skills. So you really don't need to be a master of graphic design or Photoshop to start a clothing brand. You really have to be creative and find ways around your weaknesses.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more on that. And in terms of, and I think we probably only have about 5 minutes left, but I do have a few other questions. Owning your own business is a lot in general, and how much you've expanded in this time already. Did you ever dream that this would be this big, this quick? And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
No, to be honest with you, I never thought that we would be here, 9 years later, with the same logo really in new variations, that this would be 9 years later the main product that we're selling today. So no, I think it really comes down to hard work and following the passion and really delivering quality and caring about our customers. We really listen to a lot of customers and listen to their feedback and try to make the good changes that they want to see. And I find a lot of businesses go quiet and go cold, and they don't listen to their customers or their consumers, and then they don't make the right changes, and then things can go downhill quickly. Where we've got great customer service people on staff that really care about every email that comes in, and we try to support every charity and every cause that we can. And I think that's allowed us to get where we are today through 9 years of hard work. But I never would have thought we'd be here today. To answer your question, it's mind blowing, and I'm very thankful for the support of the East Coast, and it's awesome to be able to do this every day. I love it.
And you're passionate about what you do. We know this. You're passionate about where you live, community. You check all the boxes. But is there ever a time where you have the ability to be off with everything that's going on? Because folks talk about that all the time, and they talk about the cyber world with the pandemic or the post-pandemic world. But how do you recharge? What do? You talked about golfing, but what is your activities or sport?
That's a great question. And I find that's probably one of the biggest challenges as being a business owner, is trying to disconnect and turn off the work. And, it's once you get home from a busy day at the office, and then I get into my social media, my emails, it can be 9 o'clock, and some days I haven't even eaten food. And it's like the end of the day, and I'm just grinding all day. And yeah, I just find that that's part of the entrepreneurial spirit, is like, you really never want to take time off or take the day off. And it's super hard to disconnect and take the time, but really try to take the weekends off and try to, have some personal time to golf or hike or bike or hang out with my wife and dogs and explore and do some fun stuff. But yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest challenges. I think every entrepreneur wants to micro handle a lot of the problems and 24/7, 365, and it's really hard to disconnect. So it's definitely something I'm working on, the personal and work-life balance. And yeah, it's a great question. I think a lot of people struggle with it, and I'm definitely one that would still be trying to figure out my balance.
Because you have, and thank you for that answer, you have such a big social media presence. And it reminds me back when Instagram, now we sound old, right? So back when Instagram and everything was starting out, it was really important to you to use that as a platform. And remember when you had like 10, 15 followers starting off, and could you just tell everybody what your followership is on Instagram now?
Yeah, so we started out obviously with 0 followers on all of my platforms. Today I would run 10 plus accounts on Instagram alone. So we have East Coast Lifestyle sits at about 600,000 followers. My personal account is at 413,000 followers. So we're able to reach 1 million people from those two channels on any post that we do, any good marketing that we would have to do. Then we have East Coast Chips, about 6,000 followers. East Coast Beverages, 12,500 followers. ECL Flagship, which is for our stores. That one's at about 12,000 followers. Then we have a pop-up shop account around 4,000 followers. And then there's some other accounts that are smaller that we're working on growing. East Coast Podcast, and some other tricks up our sleeve, new products that are coming for this year that I can't tell you what those accounts are called yet, but we're building out 2 new products in different categories than chips and alcohol. So yeah, there's a lot. And honestly, every day I do 3 to 5 stories per day is my goal on all of the accounts. And some days I go quiet and I don't do any posts because I'm either busy or I have meetings or I'm taking a personal day, but
you do, but what I want people to know is you do all of this yourself too. And it's a fantastic way you've made this a way to advertise without spending millions of dollars of your hard-earned cash doing that by using these platforms. So I think, would you say that social media is a very important platform to be using as an entrepreneur that's making, putting the hard work in?
Yeah, it's essential. And even Facebook alone would account for over 60% of our sales for our entire company. And wow. So Facebook is at about 400,000 people. And those are our most loyal day one East Coast Lifestyle fans and supporters because Facebook was prior to Instagram. The people have been along for the journey, the whole ride. And then Instagram would have came out, I think, in 2015, where we came out in 2013. So it was the first 2 years of social media was just pretty much Facebook. And so I was advertising Facebook every day, 1 to 2 posts per day, sharing everyone's, I'm in Australia with the East Coast on, I'll share that post. I just drank the East Coast beverages, we'll share that post. We try to really share the posts that come in. A lot of brands don't share the posts from consumers or from their followers. And I feel like that creates a disconnect where the people don't have a chance to be featured by the brand. But we'd like to feature as many people as possible, especially all over the world, the travelers, and seeing the brand travel the world's really cool. We try to always show that on the feed. And I think that all the social media tools are essential for people to use.
Thank you so much. Today we're joined with Alex Mclean, East Coast Lifestyle. Thank you so much, Alex.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.